SIMAGIC has finally taken the plunge into the entry-level market, and given current trends, they've done so at the perfect time. These are the most affordable pedal set in SIMAGIC ecosystem, and we'll talk all about it right after a quick disclaimer. SIMAGIC provided these pedals for review, but as always, all of my thoughts and opinions are free from any influence. By default, the SIMAGIC P500 will come as a 2-pedal set, priced at $199. Should you choose to include the clutch pedal, it will cost you an extra $50, bringing the total to $250 for a complete 3-pedal setup. That is, excluding shipping and taxes. This price range of sub $300 includes some popular names like the Fanatec CSL, Thrustmaster TLCM, and Moza SRP. The Camus LC100 and SIMJACs also fall within this category, though I haven't had the chance to explore or test them in depth, so I'll hold off on making any specific comments about those for now. However, I can confidently speak about the TLCMs, as it was my first ever load cell pedal and I have spent a significant amount of time with it. Comparing the TLCMs to the P500 might feel a bit unnecessary. While the TLCM is still a solid entry-level option, it does show its age by today's standards. For those of you wondering which is the better choice, P500 has the edge. But the TLCM has certainly proven its reliability over the years, so there's that as well. Now let's talk about the build quality, as I think it's the most interesting part here. Overall, from a purely aesthetic point of view, I have to say that this is a good looking pedal set. The attention to detail is impressive. While some corners are cut, they are done so thoughtfully that they don't significantly detract from the overall value, especially for new users. To keep the cost on the lower side, these pedal arms are crafted using die-cast aluminium, and these faceplates are CNC machined aluminium. All of the holes can be utilized in this pedal face compared to the old ones on P1000 and their recent add-on, PSFP, which can only be adjusted vertically. The plates have been comfortable so far because of the angle I have been using them on, though I still prefer the shape of the convex plates. The pivot point uses a ball bearing design, which is great because not only will it reduce friction, but also help in the longevity of the pedal's performance. The heel plate is CNC machined and the usable area is about 11.43 centimeters or 4.5 inches. 4 tiny bolts hold the plate, which neatly covers the circuit board and the other end of the pedal's mounting holes. The aluminium is bent here, which functions as sort of a heel stop, while also providing cover for the mounting area, making it look very tidy. Alongside the pedal connections, you get the ports for haptics as well, which means out-of-the-box compatibility with both HPR and HPR Neo. I'm really glad this is here and that SIMAGIC did not make us spend extra on getting a control box separately. While everything else in the pedal set is made out of aluminium, the bottom panel and the caps are plastic. And talking about the bottom, this area comes with a Velcro hook pre-installed, and you get a loop to cover this area nicely so you don't accidentally yank the wires off. Plus, it looks clean. Now let's move on to the specifications. The pedals have 12-bit resolution, with the throttle and clutch having Hall sensors only, while the brake being equipped with Hall sensor and a 100 kg load cell, which you can switch between in the software. I have seen this dual sensor setup on my P1000 as well. Though I have never personally switched to Hall sensor, if you find it beneficial, it's good to know that the option is available. Regarding supported add-ons, it will fully support HPR and HPR Neo out of the box. I have been using mine with the HPR Neo, and in a way, it feels complete. There's also a wall mount which will come in the box free of cost. I did not get mine as this unit was shipped quite early, but these are all the supported add-ons. Now regarding adjustability, if you have seen my P1000 review, you might recall that I mentioned the limited lateral movement of the pedals as a potential area of improvement. I'm glad to say that the issue has been resolved. In a way, instead of offering 6 holes or 3 points to move the pedals around, now there's ample of space to better accommodate everyone's needs. Although I still don't understand why SIMAGIC doesn't opt for a single cutout. This approach is still effective and a significant improvement over the last one, so no point in complaining about it. The pedal faces have a fresh design and all 3 of them share the exact same dimensions, unlike the P2000 and P1000s, which have different shaped plates. However, I have mixed feelings overall. While I appreciate the new look, I still favor the functionality of the old plates due to their coarse texture, which offered better slip resistance. That said, despite the smoother surface, I was able to play somewhat comfortably. although I would have preferred a bit more resistance. All of the holes can be utilized and the angle can be adjusted fairly easily. Undo a couple of Allen bolts and you're free to make all the adjustments. But let me show you the best thing that I've discovered. Are you all ready? That! The PSFP on the P500. These faceplates are the latest add-on for P1000, released alongside the HPR Neo, which I also reviewed, so check out that video if you haven't already. Now back to the topic. Even though the PSFPs are not officially supported, they fit like a glove. I have tested them myself and definitely prefer these plates over the new ones. They are available on the website for $35 which, like I mentioned, offers better slip resistance compared to the new ones. And after some careful consideration and back and forth conversation with Alvin, he suggested that we rename the pedal to P750, which kind of makes sense. Let's move on to the springs, where you get 6 different ones to choose from for your throttle and brake. Spare clutch springs come bundled with the clutch itself if you do decide to get that. SIMAGIC recommends to use green, yellow, red and blue for throttle and clutch, and these 4 plus brown and black for the brake. If you are concerned that these springs might not provide enough resistance, there is a small rubber brake washer included in the box that effectively limits the pedal travel after 40 or 50%, helping to prevent lockup. Pushing past the 50% threshold will require some extra effort, but nothing close to what P1000 can offer. Now I know that all of this seems great, but there's a bigger point here. While I am satisfied with the adjustable points, evidently at this price range, it has to have some point of compromise. And I find it crucial to explore as it can influence an individual's buying decision. While there are some, they might not be as severe as they may seem. I do think of these pedals as mini P1000, where you get most of the stuff like great build quality, the details, ball bearing pivot points, etc. etc. What you don't get is preload and travel adjustment, which I think is a fair corner to cut, considering it is an entry-level pedal set. On the P1000, I was really impressed with the bead-shaped elastomer and was secretly hoping that it would be present or at least compatible with these. But unfortunately it is not. If it were, the kit would have taken these pedals a step further. But then it would have also defeated the whole purpose of being an entry-level pedal set. But that did not stop me from experimenting with those elastomers. I did put them inside the brake cylinder and somehow managed to put the cylinder back in its place. Even though it worked wonderfully, I would not recommend you do that for 2 reasons. First, in P1000s, there's a rod which keeps all of these elastomers in line, and the cylinder's circumference keeps them from deforming too much. This cylinder is thicker. And second, pulling the cylinder out will be a massive pain, so don't do it. One thing which I truly believe could have been better is the plastic caps. I experienced moments of mild frustration while trying to close them after installing the hardest spring. The helical grooves rarely aligned, making the process a bit tedious. Since this is a pre-production unit, it may just be specific to my experience. However, I think it would have been better if SIMAGIC had opted for metal caps, like those on P1000s. Based on my experience with swapping springs and repeatedly opening and closing the caps, I feel that metal caps would have been a more effective choice. That said, the experience will vary from person to person. Now regarding the lack of preload and travel, you see, I can compare its features to other alternatives, but it would seem a bit unnecessary, as the features provided by different manufacturers can vary greatly depending on their profit margins, reliability, popularity, and goals. Each option has its own merits, and it's essential to consider what aligns best with your needs. I think they are a good pedal set, and since SIMAGIC has been making expensive gear, they are well aware of which corners to cut. Now let's talk about my experience with these. To be honest, it has been a while since I last got my hands on an entry-level product, and I have to say, it's refreshing to come back to the basics. After reviewing high-end gear that pushes boundaries, it's easy to forget where most of us begin, seeking that perfect balance between performance and price. And I thought that I would be greeted by nostalgia, but that did not happen. Out of the box, the pedals were very easy to press, but after swapping the springs, they felt much better. Coming from a super stiff brake with minimal travel, I needed some time to adjust, especially while circuit racing. The extra travel kept catching me off guard, but eventually I started to get the hang of it, though not perfectly. The travel seemed quite long to me, and I wish the pedals had slightly less travel, but that's just my personal preference. You might feel differently. Because of that, my struggle felt never ending, as I would lock up the tires every now and then, until I used the rubber washer. My braking got marginally better as it limited the travel after 40 to 50%, which significantly improved my driving. I had some oops moments here and there based on the car, game, and my habits, but an improvement is an improvement. Nothing came loose, nor was there any squeaking sound. Everything felt nice and solid. I did find my feet slipping, but if you play with shoes on, the odds of slippage will reduce drastically. Overall, I don't think anyone would have an issue with these pedals if they are upgrading from a Logitech pedal or T3PA to their first load cell setup. Now with everything covered, only one question remains. Is it worth it? You see, for under $300, the SIMAGIC P500 is a strong contender in the entry-level pedal market. I really liked some of the things such as enhanced lateral movement of the pedals, the thoughtful addition of Velcro to cover the circuit board, and the use of ball bearing pivot points. The combination of die-cast and CNC machined aluminium creates a durable and visually appealing pedal set. While the lack of travel adjustment and preload may be a turn-off for some users, for beginners on a budget, these pedals hold significant promise. The out-of-the-box compatibility with both HPR and HPR Neo, as well as the unofficial support for PSFP, makes it a really appealing package. That's been it. Let me know your thoughts. I've been Darth Snape, and may the downforce be with you.